Hello everyone, my name is Liz and today I'm going to walk you through my favorite 10-minute core routine. So whenever you're ready, roll out your mat and we're going to start down on your back. From here, raise both legs up straight above the hips, keep them together, and then holding the shoulders up in a crunch, we're going to inhale to drop the legs and exhale to lift for a double leg drop. We're going to move through this exercise for 50 seconds, then we'll rest for 10 seconds before moving on to exercise number 2. We'll continue this pattern for the entirety of the workout. Almost through, just a few more reps here. And let that go, 10-second rest. Then we're moving on to a toe touch reach. So whenever you're ready, raise those legs right back up above the hips. Arms go up towards the sky. Inhale first, then exhale to lift the head, neck, chest, and shoulders and reach towards the toes. Now you might not quite touch your toes here, that's okay. That just really depends on the length of your legs. My legs are quite long, so it's gonna be pretty hard for me to reach my toes. So don't really focus on that. Focus on getting the shoulders up high and using your core to do the lifting. Another important tip is to keep your legs as still as possible. If they're waving all over the place, then you're likely not using your core as much as you should be or isolating your core as much as you should be. Other muscles are moving a little too much for you to be getting the full effect of the movement. All right, we have another 10-second rest. Then we're moving on to exercise number 3, the reverse crunch. This one is very challenging, so just do your best. You can always modify if need be. So legs go right back up. Inhale first as always, and this time exhale to lift the hips, shooting the toes straight up to the ceiling. We want to use as much control as possible here. Try not to swing or use momentum. Make sure the core is doing the lifting here. So again, you might not lift very high. Don't worry about that. Focus on the quality of the contraction. And little rest. Okay, next we are moving on to the bicycle crunch. So fingertips come behind our ears. We want our elbows nice and wide. Then whenever you're ready, we're going to squeeze in our obliques to bring opposite elbow towards the opposite knee. 2 things to focus on here. Make sure the shoulders are doing most of the lifting. We're lifting our shoulders to our knees, not our knees to our elbows. Number 2, we want to take this nice and slow. I see so many people go flying through a bicycle crunch with momentum. This is not nearly as effective as a nice, slow, controlled crunch will be. Make sure you're feeling this in your abs. Almost through, and relax. Okay, sitting up on our hips here with our feet out in front of us. We're going to lean back with our arms out until we feel our core kick in, and then add a rotation from our center for a Russian twist. Here we go. So again, our twisting is coming from our center here. You can move at a quick pace only if you feel you have the control to do so. Again, no momentum. Focus on the abs, driving the movement. can also lift your feet off the floor if you can keep them still. That can increase the difficulty, but I find personally I feel this more in my hip flexors when I lift my legs, so I keep my feet on the floor to make sure I'm isolating my abdominal muscles. And have a rest. Okay, next we are moving back to a C curve crunch. So we're in our same seated position. Our arms are extended out long. Again, we're going to lean back until we feel our core kick in, keeping the tailbone tucked under, and then just add a little pulse, making sure we're moving with control. Exhale every time you pulse back, inhale to lift. Almost through. And let that relax. Okay, we are moving on to a plank series next, starting off with a basic forearm plank. So whenever you're ready, we're going to come down to our elbows and step out to our toes. And we're just going to hold here for the entire 50 seconds. Really pull your rib cage in, pull your belly button to your spine. A slight tuck of the tailbone here can help get an optimal contraction of the core as well. Keep the neck long, breathe deep in through the nose and out through the mouth. And rest. Okay, moving on, we are switching to a side plank next. This can be done from the feet or from the knees, depending on your level today. We're going to start with our right arm down and flip onto the outside of the right foot. Keep the shoulders and hips stacked. Lift from your obliques, so lift from the waist close to the ground. And imagine you're trying to push slightly away from the mat with your supporting arm. This will keep space in the upper body and prevent your shoulder from cramping too much. And rest. You guessed it, we're flipping on to the other side to repeat the exercise one more time. When you're ready, here we go. And let that relax. All right, everybody, we have one final exercise before this workout is complete. We're going to finish with a high plank from our palms to our toes. So make sure the hands are lined below the shoulders and step the feet back. Same rules apply as in the forearm plank. Pull the ribs in, pull the navel in, keep the tailbone slightly tucked. And as you can see, I'm walking my hands slightly forward here and stepping as far back on my toes as feels comfortable. this is a great little trick to increase the intensity of the plank. So as soon as you widen that stance of the hands and feet, you're going to feel your core light up a lot more. But again, work with where you are today. The most important thing is that you are practicing good form. Last few seconds. And relax. All right, everybody, send your hips back and reach the palms forward for a well-deserved extended child's pose. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then we'll come forward for a cobra, dropping the hips down and rolling the shoulders back, opening through the chest. If you're feeling some discomfort in your lower back, just skip this one. And then we'll finish in a cross-legged seat. All right, everybody, that is my favorite 10-minute core workout. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I'll see you soon.